Hello, everyone. So, today I'm going to be discussing my arguments for the introduction of a federal program for paid family leave. I'm going to divide this topic into four sections as I see them, just to kind of guide the discussion as we go along. The first topic will be the issue as I see it, which is the lack of paid family leave. And the second topic will be the solution as I see it. The third topic will be arguments against and their potential oversight. And the final subject will be the positive effects. So, as we go along, feel free to uh, step in and put forward any arguments you might have for or against, and pose any questions you might have as well. So, starting off, we have the issue. As I see it, is the lack of family leave. And with this, I'd like to throw out a few facts, one of which is the U.S. is actually one of only three countries in the world that does not offer a paid family leave option. Um, and because of this, I also think that there are some chances for us to discuss what happens, both positive and negative, in countries that already have these programs, which are, of course, around the world. Um, what we do have in place is FMLA, but unfortunately, this only covers business employees of businesses that have 15 employees or more, which means that approximately two-thirds of all mothers in the U.S. do not have access to this program. Two-thirds of working mothers. Um, Additionally, it provides us the chance to work towards eliminating inequality. And I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit with this next statement, but there's actually precedence of this in that the programs that already do exist, such as in California, um, they see a large amount of the people that are unfamiliar with the program are actually women and families of minority communities and lower income communities as well. So the solution, as I see it, is of course the implementation of paid family leave. With this, there's actually precedence in the U.S. for paid leave at the federal level, which we saw during the COVID 19 outbreak, where we implemented the stimulus checks that helped families get through the hard times where they were required to stay at home and isolate during the pandemic. And this stimulus, though imperfect, actually helped a lot of families, and additionally, uh, the economy as a whole. There was the negative side effects such as inflation, but I feel with paid family leave, the actual numbers will be much smaller, and therefore we will not see the uh, runaway inflation that we are actually seeing nowadays, partially from the stimulus payments. Uh, Also, starting in 2019, the federal government actually provides for paid family leave, both to the maternal paid family leave, which is 6 weeks, and the paternal, which is 2 weeks. Um, I think that one thing that I would like to add to this, though it's not 100% pertinent to this discussion, is that I do feel it is important to offer the secondary caregiver, in most cases the father, uh, paid family leave so that they can feel more attached to the family and also assume more of the roles of raising the child or children. And hopefully, this will help alleviate some of the stressors that mothers, traditionally the primary caregiver mothers, face when taking care of kids. Um, with that, I would say that secondary caregivers tend to not be as helpful. It's been seen in study after study, even in situations where the mother who is determined to be the primary caregiver and the relationship, um, often, even if they work more hours or as much hours, still has the uh, largest load of the household support, to children, to cleaning, to supporting the husband in the normal nuclear family, or extended family in the non-nuclear family. And obviously there's many other types of marriage and cohabitation. Um, Also, we see that primary caregivers, this is obviously a very stressful time. And one thing, getting back on topic, is that paid family leave can help alleviate some of the stress so that they don't have to go to their job or potentially face um, being fired, or if not facing being fired, losing their position or losing the income that during this time might actually still be very important to the family. Um, so that is an explanation of the solution. It kind of gets into the issues as well, I think. But moving on, we'll switch over to the arguments against and their potential oversights. One negative that has been seen in many of the countries that do implement paid family leave is that occasionally mothers can be overlooked when looking at the employment process. Uh, in other words, the businesses look at the potential loss um, of output from an individual based off of their being a female of childbearing years, and look towards maybe a male worker or an older woman to fill the position, so as to prevent having the requirement to provide paid family leave. Or if the country offers paternal paid family leave, it's generally going to be shorter. So once again, in their eyes, it might be preferable to take the male employee over the female employee. There's obviously ways around this, but that is a topic for another day. One thing that I think that most people would argue against is the economic effects from the businesses that have to provide this paid family leave. And for me, I feel it should be a federal program, so that alleviates uh, the hardship that the businesses would see from having to pay for the leave. But additionally, in California, which has had this program for more than 10 years, uh, they've had a lot of research on the topic, and where most businesses actually voted against implementing the program, they actually still, over surveys they've had with the businesses, between 89 and 99% of employers have actually reported that the negative outcomes that they expected did not occur, and there are actually many that found positive outcomes from their program, from worker morale to output of individuals. And moving on to the final topic, the positive effects. So there have actually been studies that have shown that child or infant hospitalization is reduced. Uh, this is due to due to avoidable infections and illnesses. And also, of course, I think most would see this as a positive effect, is that there are improvements in the mother's mental health as well. It also reduces likelihood of children growing up in poverty, where a mother does not have to give up her primary source of income to potentially have exit the workforce, or to give up the high-paying job she had or was striving for, um, to be able to support her family, and in the emotional sense and physical sense, as opposed to the financial sense. Um, yeah, and then it also increases the pool of skilled laborers. Uh, with going off of that last topic I was just discussing, uh, where women can actually work towards uh, their desired degree field, or their desired employment field. Uh, a lot. Some women have to give this up for childbirth. An example would be my mom, who was an X-ray tech, and when she started having the children, she actually had to exit the workforce for probably 5 or more years, and because of this, she never entered the X-ray tech field again, and has switched from job field to job field. And I imagine this is something that happens with a lot of other skilled workforce mothers. Uh, Also, it allows for a larger future workforce, in that women have lose the the decentive of having to exit their job field if they have children. Now this would not be a negative factor that they have to consider, where they can keep or stay in their job field and still have children. So they would be less likely to want to put it off, so that they have a stronger standing in their field of their desired field of work. So potentially this would lead to a larger amount of births, and therefore a larger job pool of employees that jobs can look to in the future. Also, it has I think that's it for now, actually. I will post the questions and comments that we had during our discussion to the video, and thank you for joining me.